And now I'm going to talk to you guys for the next 50 minutes about marketing and legal marketing specifically. Folks, my journey in legal marketing really started later than you might think. In 2015, in October, my old law firm broke up, and I had a 15-year partnership with a firm, Cantor and Berger, and it broke up. And when it broke up, I thought that it was going to go. I thought that it was going to go a lot differently than it went. I thought that I had put in tons of money in a website and Yellow Pages ads and marketing a phone number and a couple of billboards and different stuff. And I thought I was going to ride that out. I thought that I would have time and ride the marketing reputation of my old firm for a couple of years while I built up Berger Law. And that didn't happen. My old firm went away. The website was down. We didn't get it. It just ended. And so, I can remember the stress from it, the stress that we all have of marketing. But I had just bought a house with my now wife, and my firm exploded, and I'm on my own. And what am I going to do about cases? How am I going to get these cases? I'd done it so differently in the past. And I had lunch with a friend of mine, Jim Hackey. And after all the money that I had spent on consultants and this and that on marketing, he looked at me and he said, "How many marketing books have you read?" And I had to look at him and I said, "None." And Jim is I'm blessed to have him in my life. He loves marketing books. He's got 100, and he started giving me some. And so rather than feeling sorry for myself or panic, well, I panicked. I can't say I didn't panic. I just doubled down on marketing, and I taught myself, and I did it. And what I'd like to do is tell you 50 things that I've done to market my firm, and some of my philosophies about it too. So let me just head into it. Remember, when you're going to start marketing, you need to. One of the first things you want to do is you got to start and decide your marketing plan. What are you going to do? What's your plan? How are you going to do it? You got to decide it. You can look, and you can environmentally scan, and you can read books and do all this stuff, but you can't spend all your time in inaction. You got to decide your marketing plan, and don't make perfect be the enemy of good or good enough. Decide something. It may be a hodgepodge. It doesn't need to be clear. And one of the things they do, and you need to teach yourself marketing. And who is your client? Who is your perfect client? Is it the construction worker? Is it the trusted estates person who needs trusted estate services? Is it other lawyers? Who is your perfect client? And then you think about how to market to them. Is it are you going to do bar organizations, networking, digital, Google, internet, social? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And it doesn't need to be perfect. You can try something and fail, but you need to do it. And then number 2, listen to Maximum Lawyer podcast in the Facebook group there. I love marketing podcasts, read marketing books. So, and we have the links here. So my friend Jim Hackey, and so what I did is I went to a Infusionsoft user group. Infusionsoft is a program that I use to send, it's now called Keep, that I send my emails on. And I sat with these different lawyers and different people that were trying to email marketing. And out of that, my two of the people in that meeting, Tyson Mutrix and Jim Hacking, I remember them talking. Hey, we're going to start a podcast. I'm like, what are you talking about? Start a podcast? What? This is before podcasts were a thing. And they did. And now this Maximum Lawyer podcast they've been doing it every week for 5 years, 7 years, 7 years. It's a real, I can't advocate it enough. It's where lawyers talk about non-lawyer things. They talk about how to run businesses, what marketing works, what marketing doesn't work, that kind of stuff. And there's a great podcast, I Love Marketing. So if you're going to go market, you need to teach yourself. And some things are going to register or resonate with you. Some things aren't. Not everything may be for you. You may not do CLEs. You may not want to do podcasts or videos or this or that, but you got to do something. What's going to be your way to connect with clients and put yourself out there? And then how are you going to scale that? That's what you need to do with number 1 and number 2. And then I said, number 3, decide who your perfect client is. To whom are you marketing? Because you want to put your energy there, your time there. A lot of people, some people, I should say, some people just start marketing, doing this and this and this, and they find out what's up, and they don't think about efficaciousness or how effective their time is. You know, we have to guard our time, man. We got to protect our time. And you only have so many hours in the day or time you want to do this. If you want to have a family or a non-work life, as well as a good, vibrant, fun work life, but you got to decide who your perfect client is. So when I started my firm, it was abrupt. I had to find space. I started a website. I did not do a business plan. I didn't really do a logo. I didn't do a QR code. Number 4, I did those later. QR code is now, but I did decide who my perfect client was, or perfect different groups of clients to whom I would market. And I started to do certain things. But business plans are good, especially if you're in a firm and you're thinking about going out. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? How are you going to make money for 2 or 3 years before you're off the ground? I've said this is if you go out on your own when you start, and a lot of people I know have their own firms on this, but if you're going to start or something, you're going to double your money every year. So one of the first things I did was I did number 5. I started doing an electronic or paper newsletter because I read a book about a guy, and Jim Hacking did it, and they did newsletters, and that was an old way of doing it. How am I going to do a newsletter? Well, did I start with a newsletter? No, the first thing I did was I did number 6. I put my list into it, and I spent so much time on my list because my old list was all comorbid with my ex-partner. And I spent all this time about who are my people? Who am I marketing to? Because whenever you talk about marketing, you say, I'm going to go out, I'm going to go do billboards, I'm going to do this and this. If anybody who's smart says your best source of marketing is your current client list, and the people that like you, those are the people that have liked your service. So before you go out and market to all these other places where you can try to get clients, first get your system down here. Get your list together. Number 7, get your list together. There was a guy in this Infusionsoft group that I had, and his company was called Get Your List Together. So many people don't have their lists of contacts, and you may be one. Most people are my lists of contacts in a usable format so I can market to them, so I can stay in front of them. And we can talk about how to market, but you got to get your list together. First name, last name, email address, phone number, birthday, personal address. Get them there for your initial marketing. I spent so much time doing it. And then I did my first newsletter. Was my first newsletter perfect? No, absolutely not. But I got it out. I got it out the door. And then you figure out all the tricks about how you put in someone's name wrong, or you said you have the wrong first name in your list. It was John, not Jake. Or you're emailing to the family of a deceased person, and you shouldn't, or your client was the deceased person and you're emailing to them. No, email to the family. Or you're going to separate out, it's Mr. and Mrs. is their first name. Get your list together. And then what I did is I put my list into MailChimp. I did not even use Keep or Infusionsoft, which is to that logo's there. So then I put my list into MailChimp, and I did my first newsletter to 80 people. My newsletter now, I do and I decided that what I decided to do is I'm going to do a newsletter bi-weekly, number 5, And for 6.5 years, since 2015, for 7.5 years, I have done a newsletter every 2 weeks for 6.5 years. And it's hard and it's good. It's hard and it's good. I mean, I would every Sunday night, every 2 weeks, I wouldn't go to bed until my newsletter was finished for Monday morning. I did that for years. Now I have a great marketing manager, Joe, who helps me with it. But also email newsletters have changed. Deliverability is tough. We've had to do a lot of things to get deliverability. So even remember, once you start marketing practices and doing things, you got to be reading the tea leaves and taking the blinders off to make sure it's still working. People don't do Yellow Pages ads anymore. What works now in 2023? That's what you want to be efficacious towards. So I put my list in the CRM. I did a paper newsletter. I got my list together. And I also started number 8. I did automated email campaigns. And I got to do 50 and 50, as I said. So I'm going to keep going. Number 8, automated email campaigns. What I did first with MailChimp, and now what I do with Keep is I have automated email campaigns. When I get a new client, we put them into Keep, we tag them as a new client, and you can see that we hit start, and then they get a welcome email, and then and then they wait a day, and then they get another email, and then we wait a day. When you get new clients in the door, sometimes they have buyer's remorse. Why did I go to Berger instead of Brown and Crouppen or one of the other many, many great lawyers out there? And I don't want them to do that. So I want to be emailing them, touching them. I want my email system to work. I have email campaigns about, hey, we file a lawsuit in your case, and we give them a series of 5 emails and videos about what litigation is. We have one about Google reviewing us. We have, I found that when I prepared witnesses for depositions, I would say the same things over and over. So one of the first things I did, I remember doing it vividly, and we just redid it, but I did a series of 3 videos where my clients watch a series of 3 YouTube videos and they prepare for a deposition. And it's saved, doing those 25, 30 minutes of videos has now saved me that 30 minutes of saying the same thing hundreds and hundreds of times. So if you find yourself communicating the same things to clients regularly in your practice, put it in a video and email it to them, and email it to all your clients. You're systematizing things. You're saving yourself time. They say that anything you're going to do 5 times, just stop doing it, put it in an email, and systematize it. So I did automated email campaigns. 9, build a website. I built a website. Put yourself on your firm site, get a cheap URL on GoDaddy.com. I hired a couple of companies, and one screwed me over, and then I got another one, and I built a website, and I did a lot of it myself. When I was beginning, I would spend hours and hours at night. I'd work a lot at night, and I was writing my own content because the people that were doing it weren't doing it. They were supposed to do it. And so I'd pull articles and this and that, and I'd edit it and I'd write it. And I'd say, do this. I was in WordPress. I was putting these articles up myself. I made a lot of mistakes. I got it right. Then I worked with my website developers to do that because I wanted to get content up right away. So I chose to do newsletters. I chose to do website and Google presence. And I worked very aggressively at this. I didn't do it all at the same once. I task loaded over time. It could be overwhelming to listen to 50 things, right? But you just pick one and do it, and then you add and add. And it's a number down here. I call it task loading from scuba diving. You just add one thing to it more and more and more. Sorry, folks, I'm admitting people from waiting rooms and stuff too. So I decided, and now if you're in another law firm, put yourself on your firm site and promote yourself there. If you are not, and you may want to be down the road or something, go get a cheap URL on GoDaddy.com. Get it, put a website up, start doing stuff on there. But remember, what's the end result of a website? You got to be on the first page of Google, folks. You know, the best place to bury a dead body? On the second page of Google, right? Because no one looks there. It's kind of a joke, right? So if you're going to do the website thing, remember the end game is it's hard to stay up, and it's gotten harder and harder to stay up in SEO and search engine optimization. But you can also do pay-per-click too and pay for that and get presence to be able to get your business. So I decided on a web-based marketing plan, which was great. Oh, I can go back. So I did that. And what will you do with your web presence? What are you going to do with it? Don't just do it to do it. What are you going to do with it? You got to do something. You got to get out. You got to get it out there. Number 11, Upwork and Fiverr. I used Upwork and Fiverr. I found cheap people in different countries, Argentina, Italy, Philippines, different places to do my work because I'm cheap, because I don't have the money to do all this. I lost my law firm. I didn't have any money to do anything. So what I would do is I would cut a video myself on my own phone. I got a guy to do an intro and outro with me, which is the stuff you do beginning and end. And I'd have some guy in Italy had a bunch of translators, typists, they would type it. And so I would put content on my website by doing long videos and talking about them. And I'd get it transcribed. And then I would have I'd have an article, I'd have a video and an article on my website. And I have a lot of content with a lot of keywords that were indexed. And that was a way that I did that. So there is a lot of cheap labor to be had to help you in your marketing efforts across the globe. And you get an Upwork and Fiverr are two great ways to get those people. Though Upwork and Fiverr, I think my logo is still from Upwork and Fiverr. Find someone to do your logo. Find someone to make a cover for you for one of your books. All that stuff. These people are out there, and it can be really cheap. Fiverr comes from the word five, like $5. This could be really, really effective. Number 12, I already talked about this. I learned WordPress. I did a lot of blogs myself. I tagged a bunch of stuff. You can also do Google Analytics yourself. And I'm going to talk about Google more, but we do a lot of this ourselves. If you're starting a firm or doing it or trying to save money, you don't have the time or the money to spend and pay some consultants to do all this stuff, because those people I call them the marketing vultures. And I get emails every day. We all do. Can I send you cases? Can I do this? Can I write for your site? For years, I've called them the marketing vultures. Lawyers are fairly well off. We are a good pool for vultures to attack us, right? And these marketing people can come and overpromise and underperform, the opposite of what you do in opening statement, right? And they'll come and they'll say, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and give you this impression, blah, 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 blah. Be really careful about spending your money. And I know, maybe I don't need to say that, but I'm really careful about that because I've been burned. I've spent money. I've learned that lesson the hard way. I'm sure I will again. And sometimes I try stuff. And if anybody in my firm is watching this, they're probably laughing because I still do stuff. I still try. And sometimes I'm a little naive. We're going to try this. We're going to try this. I'm still trying to move things and try stuff. And sometimes I get burned, and then you learn those lessons. So anyway, that's 12. 13, set up a 13, set up a Facebook business page for yourself. Do it. Even if you don't do it now, set one up now. Set up a Facebook business page for yourself. 14, set up a Google business profile for yourself. It used to be formerly Google My Business page. Get your Google location. You set up the page, you tell them your business. Google sends a postcard to that address. Then with a code on it, you get on Google My Business or Google Business profile. You put in that code, and now you're on Google. If you're not on Google, you're not anywhere. So if your firm doesn't have a Google business profile, start one, do one, get registered with Google. So then when people are looking at you, because when you do a search on our phone, when we do a search on our phones for a business, you look at the map, and then those red little flag thingies, whatever those are called, it says this business is here, this business is here. Is your business there? You can listen to me at the same time. Google yourself. I Google personal injury lawyer St. Louis or car accidents lawyer St. Louis. I Google these things all the time to see how my business is seen on Google. You could talk about search engines. You're talking about Google. You could talk about social media. You're talking about Facebook. So Google and Facebook are the 800-pound gorillas, the 99%. I occasionally talk to my SEO people and I say, hey, can't we do something on Bing and blah, blah. They're like, why? It's Google, folks. Now, Facebook, social's changing, right? We have Insta, we have other things, we've got TikTok. So it used to be that all social was Facebook. That's not really true anymore. So do whatever you need to do on Insta, Facebook. Now, when we push something out, we have something called Social Pilot. When we do a post, it goes to Facebook, Insta, goes to LinkedIn. Well, I don't think LinkedIn, but it goes to all these things. So when we do something, we do it on all these profiles, on all these platforms, excuse me. So do your Google business profile, and then through your Google business profile, you can do pay-per-click ads. You can do other things. You can look at how you're ranking. You can look at the strength of your ranking in different areas. And you may want to do things when you're working on SEO. You're not going to beat out me, frankly, or Schultz and Myers, or Brown and Crouppen, or Morgan and Moore. Some of it, you're not going to beat our Page or all these guys. There are a lot of people who do great work. You're not going to beat them on a global ranking for personal injury lawyers St. Louis, but you may beat them in Overland, or you may beat them in Mount Vernon, or you maybe beat them somewhere else, wherever you are. So remember, people look at things locally too, and so you can do it there. Reviews, 15, and I got to keep trucking here. I'm going to keep going. Don't worry, I'm going to get 50 done. Reviews, get reviews, have people review you. We have a whole system for getting Google reviews. We're at about 570. We watch them all the time. Be careful, Google can thwart them. I've always tried to be the best and most Google reviewed lawyer. Google reviews help. People look at it. You don't have to write a content for a review. Have a link have a link where people can review you and send it to them. Send them to your friends, send them to your clients. Track who reviews you and who doesn't. Don't get a bunch of reviews in your office from your IP address. Have people do it at other IP addresses. Otherwise, Google will get rid of them. Get reviews on Yelp, Facebook, and other reviews too. Get reviews. P16, PPC, and SEO. PPC is pay-per-click. You pay Google per click for your name to be listed in the top. We also have LSA, or local service ads. And then SEO is where you rank organically, search engine optimization, where you rank organically in results. So I'm just going to cut to the chase. I have found that PPC and LSA don't work for me. SEO works for me. And every once in a while I do try PPC, and I do that, but that can get expensive. It's especially expensive in the personal injury game. So again, don't throw money where you don't need to. Be very careful about that, but you may want to try it. Maybe you'll get lucky. And these things change all the time. I see people spending a pile of money on all this stuff. Maybe it works for them. It doesn't work for me. I've tried so many different ways. I can't get it to work, but I've tried, and I've tried over time. So think about that. Start a podcast, and start a podcast. I have this one, Debbie Champion and I do one. We have about 70 episodes. We did a lot, and then we kind of came off, and we do them from time to time. But you can do a podcast and start getting some energy about that. The question is, what are you going to do with that? Have your own YouTube channel. Well, you need to, when you have your Google My Business page, you need to have a YouTube channel where you start recording stuff, start putting stuff on YouTube, start doing Reels, start doing TikTok, start doing this stuff, see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So these are things that you may say, oh, I can't do all this. Well, you can. You just add to it. You get systems. I would have, and I'll talk to more about how I get it done too. Credentials, 19, super lawyers, fine law, Martindale. Get people to nominate you for super lawyers if you're not. Fine law. Get AB rated in Martindale. There's all these other things. You can get plaques and all these other things too, which is great. You can pay someone $500 and now you're a member of the 100 best whatever somewhere. You've never heard of the organization. But super lawyers I found good. And fine law I like because they advertise and people get on there. I get some cases from my super lawyers. Don't really get any much from Martindale. I used to get some stuff from fine law. I was all about Advo for years and years, and I think that went away. There was some legal problems with it in New York and other places, Florida. I don't know if they're still around. Get credentialed, and then put your credentials up on your signature block so people say you're a multi-million-dollar advocates forum, or you're a super lawyer, or you're this, that, or the other thing. And even if you don't get it that year, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Even if you don't get it that year, maybe you'll get super lawyers in 3 years. Put your name in, try to do it. You're not going to be AV rated right away. Maybe you won't, but get it down the line. And then you'll have that for yourself too. All right. Community marketing. So another thing I did, I added, and these are all things I added over time. I task loaded myself. I didn't start everything at once. I just started one thing and I got it going and I kept doing it. Then I added another thing and another thing and then another. Community marketing. So community marketing, we have a Bikes for Kids program where I stole this idea from a friend of mine in Ohio, who's Charles, Chuck. He's great. And he developed this and he's amazing. And I'm going to remember his last name in a minute. But he's great. So when he started giving away bikes, he'd find just for community-based marketing, where you go out in the community, you're just giving things away. There's a book called All Cheese, No Whiskers. You don't want the mouse to see the whiskers from the marketing, the hook. You want to just give them away the cheese. So they're giving away bikes. So they partner with local bike shops and they literally give a bike to a kid. And their program is amazing. They have all these people, and mine is good, and Joe does a great job. And Casey and all my people, we do a great job. But it's nothing like theirs. They're on the news all the time. They've gotten a lot of energy about it. They have regular things, and then they started Bikes for Teachers, and they rank all the teachers in the community schools, and they give an award to a teacher. So how can you give back to our community? Lawyers have this bad, rep sometimes, but what can we do for other people? How can we improve our community? And there's a lot of firms that do this great for, give away gas or go help or do something for Thanksgiving. We do that stuff too, or dog rescue or whatever your cause is. But think about what you like to do. And I'm a little bit of a rider, ride bike. So I thought it's a great program. So we give a bike away a month, maybe a couple more in Christmas, and we have a page for it. We have a Facebook page. We have a page on our website for it. We get pictures. We're giving it away. It has nothing much to do with what I do. We're just giving. We do some bike accident cases, but frankly, we don't get a lot of them. We get some. There's not that many cases out there like that, but that's what community-based marketing is. 21, write ebooks and put them on my website. I wrote a bunch of books. I sat down and I wrote them and I made myself do it on the first one. And then I'd hire some law students, and I had a law student, Mike Sheldon, wrote most of my trucking book. I gave him just a little bit of credit, but I wrote a lot of it too. And a lot of it's content from my site, and we take it. So I have written 7 books now. And what these are marketing funnels. We have these books on our website. If someone clicks on the book, they get delivered the book, but then they get tagged in my Keep email system as they downloaded they downloaded my book, and then they're going to get a series of emails from me asking them if they need a lawyer. And then when they fall off and they don't need one, then it goes away. So my books are marketing funnels, and marketing funnels is a way to get in front of people. There's different. If you're ever reading an article and it's on the Wall Street Journal or anything, and it says, click here for the 7 tricks to get a happy retirement, or all these things, that's what marketing funnels are. Or get your free pamphlet, get your free book. That's what that is. And so these are some of my marketing funnels, some books I've done. And then we turned our bi-weekly emails into books. We just did our second one, More Client Success Stories. We had people put together all the newsletters. And you remember, you're repurposing content. So when I do these newsletters and write articles, or I have Genevieve Perino or Michael Sheldon, 2 great lawyers who I love working with, they'll do an article on a great case they did. Mike will, or Jen will, and then we'll take it, we'll put it in the newsletter with pictures, and then we'll take that. That'll be a success on the website, and it'll go in the book. And then we'll do it. Then we'll do a video with the client, a testimonial. They'll do that. So we try to repurpose all our content. Market your 22. Market yourself to other lawyers. one of the great things that I learned from my ex-partner, I know our firm broke up, whatever. We don't talk much, but whatever. The guy never met anybody he didn't hand his card to. I'll always take that. So, and there's a lot of lawyers that do that well. So are you there to be out and about in life, in your social settings, having genuine relationships with people? Yes. But you can also hand them your card and say, I do personal injury. Whenever I have workers at my house, I always tip them $20. I say, I hope you never need to call me, but here's my card. And give people your card. It's kind of old school. It is old school, but market yourself to other lawyers. That's one way to do it. Do CLEs like I'm doing today. I don't do CLEs I want to market myself to other lawyers because there's many lawyers that when more challenging cases and they want to diversify risk, bring me in to help them, and we co-counsel together. And that's approved on the ethics rules. And that's how it goes, right? That's for decades now. That's how there's some lawyers that, I saw Joe Taylor on this, and I don't mean to call you out, Joe. And I kind of know Joe, but I kind of don't. I don't know if we've had lunch together. I know he's a vegetarian. I know my daughter and his son are buddies. Joe is great. Joe gets people referring him cases. He's got a niche. He does cases when there's criminal attacks on property, and he's very successful. Like Joe does a great job. There's other people on this listening to this presentation who do that too. So if you're a niche or you're a trust and estates lawyer, or this or that, how are you going to market yourself to other lawyers? Hand them your card, ask for the business, and then you got to be out there as a good lawyer. And a lot of times, and we refer people out too, if I'm referring someone to another lawyer, most of the time, I'm not as worried about whether or not my co-counsel fee is going to be 25% or third or 10% or whatever number. Most of the time, I want to get them to a good lawyer who's going to do a great job, not mess it up, and land the case and treat that person well. So that's what I want to make sure I do. Hey, Joe, you're welcome. Look at crimevictimlawyers.com. There's Joe. So, and Joe is a good vegetarian like me too. Joe, we should go to Terra Tacos or one of these places sometime. And by the way, I have a question for you on a case I was going to call. Now, send those cases to me. Don't send them to Joe. And then if we need Joe's expertise, we'll certainly call on him. But that's just an example. Sometimes they say the riches are in the niches. Sometimes if you niche down in your area of practice, whether it's a geographic location, I know Gene Howe was on here. Gene does a great job in getting good cases in his area. I like Gene's presence on Facebook. Gene, I haven't seen you in years and years, but I've always seen what he does. Gene, I've seen him niche down in a geographic area. You can niche down in a specialty practice area, or you can be a general practitioner too, whatever you want, but market yourself to other lawyers. Lunch list. So there's a book, number 23, lunch list. I have a lunch list on my phone because I am sometimes I'm good with my relationships, but I'm like a typical male. Sometimes I'm not that good. So I literally have a note on my phone called lunch list. There's a marketing book that one of my friends gave me when I was doing this, and says, and then there's a lawyer in New York, and all he did, he has a very successful practice. All he did was have lunch with people every day. There's another friend of mine, Craig Goldfarb, down in Orlando. He's got an amazing practice. He sponsors the Marlins. He's huge now, but he has an intentional lunch every day, 5 days a week. He has lunch with somebody. And so I don't keep this like I used to. I used to be more religious about this, and doing lunches. And when there's referrals, 24 referrals, not quid pro quo, have relationships and don't worry about getting cases. When I have my lunches or my friends who are lawyers and stuff, that's what it's about. It's about having real, genuine relationships with people. And then if the cases come, great. If they don't come, who cares? It is what it is. Because if you sit there, if you're just all about yourself and getting cases for yourself, you're not giving anything away. And then everybody knows you're just out for yourself, and then they kind of don't want to hang out with you. It's the same thing as an opening statement or anything else. Be genuine, be real, have real relationships. And if those end up being a referral relationship, great. You could talk about it. We talk about it and that, but if all you don't want to be all whiskers and no cheese. All right. You want to be helpful. All right, I'm gonna keep going here. Social media presence. Have a social media presence. Have a personal one. Have a business one. Remember that on Facebook, your business page, even though I told you to do it, remember that where that Facebook is only going to show 20%, or excuse me, is only going to show 6% of your posts unless you boost them. unless you boost them. So remember that there is a limitation to your social media, but have it, put it out there. Whether it's I've decided, and it's always changing. I decided in January, I said, I'm going to do reels, and I'm going to do 100 reels by June. And I think we've done it. Joe and I have been doing it. I made myself do reels. I didn't want to do TikTok. And some of them are good. Some are mediocre. Don't make perfect be the enemy of good or good enough. Get something out there. Hand out your business card and ask for business times 10. I said that. Boards and organizations, it checks multiple boxes. Does anybody else having audio problems? Okay, thanks, John. But join boards and organizations. Be part of your community. Give back to your community. Ancillarily, you will also get business from it over time because people know you and they know that you're a good person and you seem smart, you work hard, and you seem to get good results for your clients. To join boards and organizations, give back. The more we give, the more we get. It is really true. The more you give away this stuff, I will give away all my marketing ideas, okay? Because marketing isn't genius. All these ideas are out there. It's a matter of getting it done, going out and doing the things, doing the newsletter every 2 weeks, writing the books, doing CLEs, doing it, get it out the door, as my paralegal and I say, and the lawyers in my firm say. Join boards and organizations. I'm a member of Legal Services Eastern Missouri now. I think I've been there for a while. I think my time there, I feel it's kind of ending. I feel I'm ready to do the next board, and I'm looking around to see who else I want to help in my life. I do a lot of dog rescue. I do a lot of scuba diving. I do a lot of bee stuff. I have my own things, but make it genuine to you. All right. So personal, 28. Sometimes I think of marketing like this. All right. Let's say of all the cases you're going to get, a third are going to be referrals, a third are going to be marketing, and a third are going to be from former clients. Okay. So are you doing those three areas? Now, maybe in your business, maybe it's not a third. Maybe it's a fourth or 2/3 or something, but it's some combo of that. I'm not so worried about the third, a third, as I am thinking about these different areas. So when I'm doing in my personal life and in my marketing life, because I work all the time, when I'm working, that's my life too. My kids are in the office or I'm working from home. So it's a mix. It's not like 1950 when we go to the office and we're there, right? So, you got to think of it like this, okay? And so are you touching referrals? Are you touching marketing? Are you touching former clients? I mean, touching like marketing touches to them, okay? 29, co-counsel fees under Rule 1.5E. It's blessed 1.5E. The ethics rule bless co-counsel fees. There's nothing bad about it. If you don't need to get a new contract, if a case is referred to you, you don't need a new contract with the client. You can go under the referring lawyer's contract as long as it's confirmed in writing. And then you and the referring lawyer co-counsel with, you're both on that. You give an email every once in a while, tell them what's going on in the case. Hey, co-counsel fees, CLEs, 30, give it away now. You know, the old Red Hot Chili Peppers, right? Give it away now. Give away what you learn. Give away. I know there's a lot of lawyers on here that do this, and I know a lot of lawyers are generous with their time and share. Give it away. Write blogs. Speak to the local Rotary. Be involved in your community. Give away your knowledge and help people. Because really, that's marketing. I can't tell you how many times I have, and this has happened to me like in the last week. Someone comes up and they know me, and how do you know me? You did this for someone one time, or you took care of a ticket for a friend, or you did this, or I like how you do this. And you know, they say, and so give it away. There you go. I think I already overtaught that one. All right. Lessons, themes. This is a little bit more in the brain than some of the other practical stuff. Don't keep grumpy clients. Fire them. They can hate you and bad Google review you now, or they can hate you in 6 months from now. Sometimes you can't teach gratitude, and you want every former client to be ambassador for your firm. There's an exception to this rule, and if you have a grumpy, jerky client and it's $1 million case, you got to keep it. You got to keep it because you got a big fee, right? But you know, having someone who's a hater and is going to hate you, why would you want to keep that case for 5 years and then turn them loose? It's better to get rid of them now because your clients are your ambassadors. You do a good job for them. You market to them while you're there. And then they go out and then they're your advocate. They're your best advocate. And I don't think I put this on a slide. I talk about this all the time. I should have. There's 3 stages of marketing. There's the before unit, the during unit, and the after unit. The before unit is where everybody focuses, getting the client in the door at TV, advertising, billboards. But remember, there's 2 other times when you're marketing to your clients. The during unit, in the 2 years that you're litigating your case, how are they being treated? Are they nice? Are you having confrontations with them? Do they love you? Are you teaching them? Are you making stakeholders in their case? Are they going to leave there? And then the after unit, how are you handling all the, if you've been a lawyer for 20 years, you probably have 2,000, 3,000 clients. Are you marketing to them afterwards? Do you have your list together? Are you doing emails to them? Are you doing birthday cards? Are you remembering them? And so to remember the during unit and the after unit. 32, don't get fancy letterhead, fancy checks, big case management, or expensive SEO until you make a bunch of money and you can afford it. Don't lead with the money and expect returns. I see this all the time on these chats and stuff on Maximum Lawyer. Who can I get to do my newsletter? Do it yourself. 3 most important things in marketing: action, action, action. I already said it. Take the action, do it, get it out the door, do the marketing piece, do the call to the client, send out the birthday cards, do it. 2-week plan, 12-week plan, and 5-year plan. There's a great book called The 12-Week Plan. Plan your time. What am I doing in 2 weeks? What am I doing in 12 weeks? What's my 5-year plan? Be intentional about it. Write it down. Do it. If it's been 2 weeks and I haven't done a video or a newsletter or gotten a marketing piece out, I'm not doing my job. And I don't leave the office till I've done it because I'm supposed to be a trial lawyer. I got to run a firm, but I also got to market. And sometimes the marketing can take a back seat. So do that. So look at the 4 quadrants from first things first. I found this to help me in my life. I read that book a long time ago. Remember the Franklin Covey stores that used to be in the mall? Stephen Covey wrote a great book called First Things First. You need to be in quadrants 1 and 2 up here. You need to be, and too many times people don't go into quadrant 2. Just because something is urgent, just because something is not urgent, if it's still important, you got to still work on it. And that's what this is. Planning CLEs, planning Google reviews. What is my website going to look like down the road? Look at that. 36, watch your message. Don't fall into lawyer stereotypes. Be the helpful, educating, selfless, and raise all ships lawyer. Don't be all about you because it'll taint you as a person, and it will also, people will read through your message. Be genuine. And there you go. Let go, 37. Let go of the huge number of errors you're going to make marketing, practicing, and running your business. So all these things I'm throwing you, like, what if I mess this up? What if my newsletter is this? Blah, blah, blah. If George, you know how many mistakes, you know how much George Washington screwed up in the Revolutionary War, and how many battles he lost, and how many things he made a mistake on before he got it right? You got to let it go. Let it go. I will not let it go. Maybe I'll sing the song. Let it go. You're going to make errors, and I get mad about them sometimes, and then I work on myself to let it go. Just let all that go. I've had so many marketing errors and mistakes I've made and silly things I've wasted money on, but you got to let it go and move forward. 38, because you're going to make mistakes, procrastinate, and not be perfect. Remember the most important things in marketing. Just do it and get it out the door. You know, you send the email out with the spelling error or this or that. Get it out the door. Don't worry about it. No one, you're going to see that more than anybody else's anyway. So who cares? So these are life things, 39, you choose your life, and so part of this, 39 and 42, surrender to marketing and run your business, serenity about what you can control and what you cannot control. That's my serenity prayer. My serenity has really helped with me being a trial lawyer and running my firm. And that was really hard for me when I started back to the story I started when I started this speech is it really took, and I'm not a person who surrenders easy. Sometimes I go kicking and screaming. So, but it was really a monumental thing in my brain when I just sucked it up and said, no one else is going to do this marketing other than me. It's me or no one else. And when it was just only me and I had to do it, I did it. And I've done a lot of different things, and I'm, certainly proud of that. But it's that idea of, we're not taught to market, and we're not taught these things in law school. You think something's supposed to be handed to you. Business is supposed to be handed to you, clients, success, blah, blah, blah. No, you choose it. Are you going to do it or you're not going to do it? And you can feel sorry, or I have to stay up and late and do a marketing piece, or I have to do this or that. Just do it. Surrender to it. That's part of your job. You're not some ivory tower person who is really smart and knows statutory caveats and blah, blah, blah. So you're going to be successful. Go get the business. Surrender to that idea that you have to do it. Your life will be a lot easier. 40 and 41. Spend time and money to SEO and promote your own brand. A lot of people spend a lot of their time and money promoting other people. Promote yourself and your firm. Billboards, TV, and mass advertisement doesn't work for most people. To do it, you have to have a system to succeed. I don't. So come up with new, and don't be afraid to come up. And I'm going to go, folks, I'm going to go for 6 more minutes and be done. Just so you know. And you guys all may be like, hey, I'm already doing something else and the volume is down. But don't be afraid to try new things. I've tried a lot of different things. Some have worked, some haven't. And I list some right here. Try different things. And what may work today is not going to work 2 years from now, and vice versa. What worked 2 years from now? So try to be fresh. Don't be afraid to look around and see what's working around. That's another song from Hamilton. Look around, look around. Look at new stuff. And some of them have worked. Some of them kind of work. Some of them don't. Just don't be afraid to try stuff. There's no one's judging you except for yourself. Judge yourself lightly. Forgive yourself. I already said 44. Anything you do more than 5 times, systematize it. Make it a system. Put it in an email campaign. Put it in a video. Do it so you don't have to keep saying the same thing over and over again. You put it in a video, you send it to your clients, and then they're all educated. It works great. I find it works great. Great 45. Great lawyering is great marketing. Don't market and run your business so much that you forget your craft. And that's really true. The judges were talking about it. We've all been talking. And Rahoy was talking about it. You got to keep working on this stuff. Work on your craft. Work on being a good trial lawyer. Because that when you're in court and you're on a Zoom and there's 50 other lawyers looking at you, have your act together, kill that argument, smoke them, win it, be gracious, no personal ad hominem attacks, and then walk out of there. And then you have that reputation in the community of being the kind of lawyer that other lawyers want to bring you in on cases. And that goes to marketing. It goes to all over. You would believe people talk, and having a good reputation is and being a great lawyer is good. I already said 46. Do it yourself. All these things I did myself. All these things you do yourself. Just do it. You can do it yourself. This is not something where I can't do a newsletter because I can't do Facebook. Do it yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect. Some of these videos, I joke around. I'm like, some of my YouTube videos feel like, oh, you made a mistake in there. I'm like, no, I watch them anyway. Look at the number of views on them. I mean, it's like, don't flatter yourself, right? It's kind of funny in that way. All right. Task load. So 47 is important. As time goes on, task load. People freeze up and don't do marketing because there's so much out there they can do so that they won't do the one thing. Pick one thing. If you're doing a newsletter, do a newsletter. If you're going to be TikTok guy, be TikTok guy. Pick one thing and do it. Get it right, do it. And then add the next thing and the next thing. You don't have to do everything. Pick one thing and then task load. Add things to it as you go along. And that's how and it's also less stressful. Then you get everything done. Remember, you have 3 jobs: trial lawyer, firm manager, and marketer. Have you done all 3 this week? I ask myself that all the time. I also am blessed to have great support staff where I've systematized this. I can do it. 49, Hang out with other like-minded lawyers for marketing for practice. Hang out with other people who do this, who talk about marketing. You can call your buddy and say, hey, is PPC working for you? Hey, why do you do this kind of video doing this? Why are you doing a newsletter? Let's talk amongst ourselves about this. Remember, let's communicate. And most lawyers I know will talk about it if you have real relationships with them. A lot of, it used to be the other plaintiffs lawyers, they wouldn't talk about what marketing works and what doesn't work. But I'll tell you, that's changed. Most of my genuine friends in the field will share. And I'll call them up. What's working for you? What's not? They'll tell you. Number 50, systems are good. Systems are good. You got to have systems to do this. We have a lot of systems in my firm for marketing, doing different things. But remember, all systems need to be maintained, and the systems take a lot of work. So maintain your systems. Add people to the programs. Add people to your lunch list. Add people to your newsletter list. Keep cranking out newsletters. Write personal notes to people to thank them. Cards to clients. Keep blogging, video, and writing books. Maintain these systems. Make it part of your life. Make it part of your practice so it's not an onerous chore, so you like what you do and you're not dreading it. And that's my 50 and 50.